tonight. How's everybody doing? Doing pretty good? Did anybody already start school this week? That's a bummer. I'm sorry. But that's okay, you know? You're still alive, so it's not that bad. That's great. For those of you who are starting school next week, good luck. Good luck. We'll miss you next week. No garage if you didn't hear. No garage next Wednesday. But then we're back the 20th, and then the 27th, liftoff. It's going to be great. It's going to be so much fun. Invite all your friends because we want to throw the awesome little color party slime stuff at your face, and it's going to be awesome. So be there. It's going to be great. We're going to have food, which is always the best part. But tonight, guys, we are finishing up our series on the fruit of the Spirit. So if you've been here this summer, we've been going through all the fruit of the Spirit, which, you know, there's lots of them. I don't know. Does anyone remember what we talked about last week? Anybody? Anybody? What would you talk about? What? Yeah, you? What? Faithfulness. Yeah, we did talk about faithfulness. Aaron brought the word there. It was awesome. If you missed it, you could watch it on YouTube or something, or you could ask him about it. He's around here somewhere, and he would probably love to tell you all about it. So just ask him about it. But tonight, we are closing out our series. Does anybody know what fruit we're talking about? There's only one we haven't yet. What? Pineapple? Not pineapple. Good guess. Not tomatoes. Gentleness. Bingo. Okay, we are talking about gentleness. Guys, we're just going to talk for a few minutes, and then we'll close out the night because it was an awesome Hawaiian luau. So we'll just talk about gentleness for a few minutes, okay? Gentleness is kind of a weird fruit, right? It's kind of a weird word because you're like, what does that really mean? Nobody really knows. And to be honest, it's one that I'm not very good at, okay? Gentleness is not something that has came naturally for me over my life, right? Growing up, I played a lot of basketball. I liked playing basketball. It was fun. And I remember I wasn't good though, right? It was fun, but I was bad at it. So I was on these teams at the rec center, you know, because I wasn't on the traveling teams that a lot of you guys are on. I was at the rec center level. That's where I was. And we would take it really seriously though. And I remember in 5th grade, we were on this rec center team, and it was we were not nice teammates. None of us were nice to each other. I don't know if you've ever met 5th grade boys, but they're kind of like little monsters, right? Some of you were 5th grade boys a couple months ago, so you know, right? You can kind of be like a little monster. And we would be playing this game, and our team was horrible, right? Imagine the worst basketball team you've ever seen. That was us, right? We probably won maybe one game all season. So we were bad, but for some reason in our heads, we were all like LeBron James Jr., right? We were we're going to go to the league, obviously. We're going to be so good at this. And so we would take it really seriously. And I remember we were playing this game, and it was a close game, which was rare, right? Normally we'd be getting blown out. I probably had a solid 1 point and 5 turnovers or something. And we were all right, this is our game. We're going to win it. And the game was tied. And then, you know, they scored, and they made a free throw. So they were up 1. And we were okay, we still got this. We're only down 1 point. We can score a point. We've got 20 seconds left in the game. We're that's enough time. We can do it. And then we passed it in, and this kid, I don't even remember his name. I just remember his little face, and he was just the worst, right? This guy was the ball hog on the team. Somehow we gave him the ball, and he just goes around, and he dribbles it around for 20 seconds, and then just chucks up the worst shot you've ever seen. And then immediately, obviously it missed because we all were horrible. But he missed, and then our whole team, we just started yelling at him and telling him he was horrible and he should have passed it. And we were just really mean people, right? We just went up to him, and we were the exact opposite of what you think of when you hear the word gentleness. That's what we were. We were just telling him he was horrible. He should have passed the ball. And the reality is, if he would have passed the ball to me, I would have missed by a mile, right? I was horrible. But we were all just telling him dude, what is wrong with you? You should have passed the ball. And we were just kind of mean people. We weren't gentle. So, needless to say, gentleness is something that I'm learning a lot about still because it's not something that comes natural to me. I've never been very good at that. I was always a very blunt and direct person, and I was dude, you suck at shooting the basketball. Maybe don't shoot it next time. But it's something that's really important because the reality is that no matter what it is in life, we all want to be heard, right? When you talk to your friends, you want them to actually listen to what you have to say. When you give someone advice, right? Sometimes you're ever giving one of your friends advice, you want them to actually hear the advice you give them and to take it into account. Or if you're talking to one of your friends and you're hey, I think this thing that you're doing is maybe not the best, or I think that we need to talk about something, or even if you're just trying to tell your parents about what's going on in your life, you want them to listen to you, right? You don't share these things and not want them to listen. You want people to hear the things we're telling them, right? And I think that gentleness is the key to having people actually hear the things we tell them. Because a lot of times people are like, oh, do I really want your opinion on anything? Like, no, probably not. But if we approach it with gentleness, then people will actually hear what you have to say, right? If you want to actually be heard, we have to use gentleness. So the question obviously is, what the heck does gentleness mean? Because it's kind of a weird idea. And it's like, when you hear gentleness, you just think of like, I think of like toilet paper. I don't know why, but that's what comes to mind. But that's not what it means, okay? So I've got a definition for you. It'll be on the screen. Gentleness in the Bible, okay, here we go. Gentleness in the Bible means showing care and respect for others in the way that you act and speak, right? So showing care and respect for others in the way that you act and speak. So not going to your teammate and telling him that he sucks and that he should never shoot the ball again and he should just pass it. Not doing that, right? That is not gentleness. But gentleness is showing care and respect for others in the way you act towards them and the way you speak towards them, right? So how you're treating them, right? So we're going to look at just a couple little Bible stories in a second here that kind of really point this out, and we'll just talk about that for like 5 minutes, and then we're going to kind of wrap up. So first up, we've got this story from 1 Corinthians. Everybody say Paul. Okay, Paul is the guy who writes this 1 Corinthians letter, okay? And it's his letter to this church, and he's telling them all kinds of things. And Paul he's known for telling people things that they do wrong, and he's like, hey, maybe you should stop doing this, and you should do this instead. But Paul is really good at this whole idea of gentleness, okay? And this one verse he writes to them really sums it up well. So I think we're going to check this out in 1 Corinthians chapter 4. It'll be on the screen. Here we go. So this is Paul talking to this church, right? So he's talking to this big group of people who follow Jesus, and he says this. He says, also, before we start, if you've never been here before, when we get to a word that's in a different color, that's your guys' word to read. So when we get to that word, yell it out, okay? It's just one word, pretty simple. You got it. I believe in you. Here we go. What do you prefer? Shall I come to you with a rod of discipline, or shall I come in love and with a spirit, right? So Paul is writing to these people, and he's like, what would you guys want? You want me to come with a rod of discipline, right? Think about like, I don't know what kind of rod that might be, but like a big ruler or like a paddle or something. You want me to come to you with this rod of discipline, right? Should I come to you angry and like, you know, like really just like discipliningly, I think that's the word. Or shall I come to you with love and a gentle spirit? He's asking these people, he's like, how do you want me to come towards you with these things that you need to fix, right? This church was doing a lot of silly things that they shouldn't have been doing, and Paul was trying to correct them. And he says, I'm going to come to you with love and a gentle spirit because I care about you, and I don't want you to keep going down this path that's destroying you, right? He's coming at them with love and a gentle spirit because he cares for them, right? That's what gentleness looks like. It looks like caring for people and actually having something to say to them because you care about them and you love them, and that's why you're approaching them this way and not in some mean disciplining with a rod way, right? And then the next one we're going to check out is these things called Proverbs. Okay, Proverbs is like a bunch of wisdom, and it's just all this wisdom that's in the Bible, okay? It's in the front half of the Bible, and it's mostly by this guy named Solomon. If you ever want to check it out, they're really great, and they're really easy to read because it's literally just like a bunch of like tweets or something, right? Or what is it? They're not tweets anymore, whatever it's called on X. But that's like what it is. It's like a little wisdom from God. So we're going to check out these two Proverbs that I think also speak a lot about gentleness, and then we'll wrap up. So check these out. Here we go. Proverbs chapter 15. You can read the whole chapter. There's a lot in there on gentleness, but these two verses, 1 and 4 specifically, here we go. Your word comes quick, so be ready. Okay, is everybody ready? Okay, here we go. Answer deflects anger, but harsh words make tempers flare. Okay, so that's the first one. A gentle answer deflects anger, but harsh words make tempers flare, right? He's saying when you talk to someone gently, it kind of deflects anger. It helps them diffuse a situation. If someone's getting really like heated and really angry towards you and you're just like really calm and gentle with them, they're going to calm down, right? They're going to be like, oh, maybe I don't need to be angry. Maybe I don't need to do that. But if they're like all heated and then you respond by also being all heated, then it just escalates, and then next thing you know, you're screaming at each other's faces, and that's just not a good place to be. That's not a place where you're going to get anywhere or do anything productive. So, and then Proverbs 15:4 says, here we go, ready? Here we go. Gentle words are a tree of a deceitful tongue crushes the spirit. So, same idea. He says gentle words are a tree of life, right? A tree of life, something that he's saying that your words speak life, right? Your words have the power of life and death in them, right? You can either use them negatively, right? A deceitful tongue crushes the spirit. When you lie to people, it hurts them, right? It crushes them inside. Just like those harsh words, they make tempers flare. These words have power, right? You can be gentle with your words and they can speak life, or you can be destructive with your words and they can speak death, right? So you have to choose, are you going to use gentleness in your words or are you not, right? Are you going to speak life or death? Which one, right? You can't do both. So I think the point we can really pull out here, and now I want you guys to take away this. If you don't remember anything else I said tonight, just remember this. If you want people to listen, which we all do, we want people to listen when we talk. We want them to care about what they say. If you want people to listen, being gentle is essential, okay? Being gentle is essential. It's essential to be gentle when you talk to people. If you just go up to people and you just say, hey, you really suck at this, this, and this, and this, they're not going to listen to you. But if you go up to them and you say, hey, I really love you and I care about you as a friend, and I think that maybe we need to talk about this thing you're doing because it's hurting you and it's hurting me and we're having some issues from it, right? That's totally different than walking up to them and saying, hey, you need to stop doing this, and just like yelling in their face. Nobody wants that. But if you're gentle, right, if you're gentle with your words, then they'll actually hear you. They'll actually hear what you have to say, and they'll want to listen, right? They'll actually hear your advice or whatever it is that you want to talk to them about. They're actually going to hear it if you're gentle. If you just go up to them and scream in their face, like me and my basketball teammates did to our teammate, guess what he did the next time we had a game? He did the same exact thing. He did not care because we weren't gentle. If we would have actually talked to him as a human being and treated him with respect and been gentle towards him, maybe he would have changed. But we didn't because we were not being gentle, right? We did not get it, that being gentle was essential. So what I want you to think about as we're kind of wrapping up here is, how do you treat people, right? Do you use gentleness? Are you a gentle person? Are you a harsh person, right? When you read those verses, what do you think? Do you treat people with harsh things? Do you speak life? Are you somebody who you would say like, yeah, gentleness is easy? I would say for most of us, gentleness is not easy, right? It takes a lot more patience to be gentle. It takes actually thinking before I speak to be gentle. It's not easy, right? But I think we can all do it, right? It's something that's very attainable. If you just put a little effort in, you can start to be gentle, because gentleness can really, really change things, right? Imagine what your school, your sports team, your friend group, even garage would feel like if gentleness became normal, right? If being gentle towards people became normal, what would it look like, right? What if instead of snapping at people or acting like we know everything and we know best, we started treating each other with patience and care and respect, right? These things that we want other people to treat us with, but sometimes we're not quick to treat other people that way, right? What if garage became known as a gentle group of people, people who listen to each other, who care about each other, who don't freak out when things go wrong, right? It's the kind of place that we all want to be a part of, the kind of place where you want to be able to say, I can go there and I know that these people are kind to me, right? There's people who listen and care and who are gentle, right? So let's be those people. Let's actually do that. Let's live that way. Let's live with gentleness. As you guys are starting school up again, it's a great opportunity because you're going to be seeing friends that you haven't maybe seen in a while, and you can kind of redefine how you act, right? You can redefine how they know you, right? And when people are gentle towards you, you start to trust them, right? So if you are gentle with other people, they'll trust you. And sometimes people hear gentleness and they think like that it just means like being quiet and being like a pushover or something. It's not weakness, right? Gentleness isn't weakness. It's just strength under control, right? It's actually just knowing how to control yourself, knowing how to control your tongue. Gentleness is good. And if you want people to listen, then being gentle is essential, right? If you want people to hear you and hear what you have to say, being gentle is essential. So we're going to pray out, and then we're going to spend a little bit of time just in one last closing song of worship. And I'd encourage you during this last song just to spend some time reflecting on it. Spend some time reflecting on what do your words bring in the world, right? Do your words bring life, or do they bring death? Are they harsh? Are they like a rod of discipline to friends? Or do they bring life, and do they come gently? And do they actually be heard? Because that's what your words have the power to do. So let's just think about that this week as we're heading into school. How can we be gentle? So let's pray, and then we're going to get into this last song of worship. Dear Lord, thank you for just bringing us all here together to have an awesome luau and eat snow cones and play limbo and just have a lot of fun jumping around praising your name. And thank you that you're a gentle God, not one that comes with a rod of discipline, but you come with a loving and caring heart, and you're here for us, and you're here to listen to us and help us to learn to model gentleness like you do for us. So help us to be gentle as we head back into the school year, to be gentle towards our friends, to come at them with love and care, because we do love and care for them, and we want to be able to show that. I pray for everyone in this room that you would just help us to see you this week. I pray all these things, and everybody said,
I am an instrument of exaltation. I was born to lift the name above all names. You hear the melody of all creation, but there's a song of praise that only I can bring. Who else is worthy? Who else is worthy? There is no one, only you, Jesus. Who else is worthy? Who else is worthy? There is no one, only you, Jesus. You are the infinite God of the ages, and yeah, you chose to make my heart your dwelling place. You healed my brokenness, showed me your glory. So I have songs of thanks, not even angels sing. Sing this out. Who else is worthy? Who else is worthy? There is no one, only you, Jesus. Who else is worthy? Who else is worthy? There is no one, only you, Jesus. Who else is worthy? Who else is worthy? There is no one, only you, Jesus. Who else is worthy? Who else is worthy? There is no one, only you, Jesus. I want to encourage you, if you know this next part, sing it out. And if worship is new to you, focus in on God and His presence right now. Lamb of God, anointed one, who was and is to come, seated on the throne above. Holy, holy, righteous one, who shed His blood to prove to us the Father's love. Jesus Christ be lifted up. Holy, holy, Lamb of God, anointed one, who was and is
a couple of things real quick. If it's your first time here, welcome. We are so glad you joined us tonight. Something we say here every single week because we mean it is that you are loved and prayed for, and you are accepted to your garage just as you are. We hope you had a great night here, and I hope to see you guys not next week, but the week after, because we're gone next week. Also, on your way out, you're going to get a couple of these little cards, okay? They say lift off. They're to invite some friends. So take 2 or 3, go to school, and invite some friends to lift off. If you are looking for one of the fuel applications, I have them up here on the stage. If you are interested in that, we would love to have you do that. Have a great night, guys. We will see you Sunday or in 2 weeks on the 20th. Have a great night.